Hello, everybody. We are the team from Leonard R. Flynn Elementary. I'm Tyler Woods. I'm the principal of Flynn Elementary.
I'm Bonnie Siegel. I'm a third grade teacher.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Lopez, and I am the fourth grade immersion teacher at Flynn.
I'm Brett Fox, and I'm a 4-5 teacher.
I'm Laura Juarez Codicetti, assistant principal.
I'm Kathy Isbister. I'm the teacher librarian.
All right, so we are the Flynn iLab Innovation Team, and we're really excited to share some of the design work that we've gone through with the iLab. A little bit of context about our school community. Leonard Flynn is in the Mission. We are a school that has students and families that have been at our school for generations, but also families that have recently come into our community from across the city that may have more access and privilege, maybe homeowners that are looking to connect with their school community. So we see diversity as our biggest asset. And within the equity dilemma that we focused on within the design process, we started with the opportunity gap that's staring us in the face every single day. So we are one of the schools that has the largest gap between our highest performing student group and our lowest performing group, so our white students and our African American students. And this is something that we are having to think critically about in everything that we do. And we see ourselves as a school that is, in many ways, San Francisco at its core in serving a diverse group of students. And in thinking about that, the other thing that kind of goes along with San Francisco in technology, what are the ways that technology can support closing that academic and opportunity gap within our school? Because there were certain trends that we were seeing in that experience that were posing a challenge to us, and that is how our equity-focused dilemma began.
So like Tyler was saying, our biggest problem that we're trying to address is making sure that we're able to address a technology gap in the correct way. So with that, we put our heads together and we thought of the ways not only to make sure that we're serving all of our students in the most fair way. So we have our team that came together. We come from a wide variety of experience. Some teachers have been at the school for several years, while others are first-year teachers. And so we were able to think about different perspectives of the school in order to help it at its finest. So our big question that we're trying to answer is how might we utilize technology to narrow rather than widen the opportunity gap at Flynn that we were seeing from our data.
So during the discovery phase of our design process, we tried several things with our students in order to gather information. And that included student focal group, student surveys, and shadowing a student using technology. And there were some key insights. One, which was students are excited about technology. Another piece was they can articulate how to use this for entertainment, but it was hard for students to use that data for academic use. And then another part, and the way students use technology in class is not allowing them to feel excited about it. So with the surveys, we saw one key piece was that for students, technology means phones and entertainment. Go ahead. So during the design process, we reviewed the data and found that that we wanted to create a program that would meet the needs of the variety of students at our school. Go ahead. And we created a prototype of our high-end user and our high-needs user. So we started to realize that different students had different needs. And with these two types of students, one was really excited about using technology while one had a lot of frustration around that, and that had a lot to do with the experience and access that they had at home.
So the next step of our process, we developed a unit and started in the library using the the Chromebooks, and then we brought the Chromebooks into my classroom. We noticed at the beginning of the unit, the students had trouble logging on. So they got really frustrated. They were having trouble managing the keyboard, trying to figure out how to make capital letters, how to go down to the next line, how to tab. They got really, really frustrated, and which caused them to be off task and a little bit anxious about using technology. So by the end of the unit, though, what we noticed was they were able to log on quicker, their passwords were easier to enter, they were less anxious about using the computer. They could work their way around the keyboard a little bit better, and their frustration level really decreased and their anxiety decreased.
So also throughout the investigation phase, we noticed that not only our students were struggling with skills in technology, but it was the mindset that they have, the perseverance, the determination. So can you go to the next? So we realize that it's not only the skills that we want to also promote, but we want to cultivate that growth mindset that our students in 21st century, they need just to thrive, just to go and persevere and try it again, and determination.
And as we thought about that connection between both the hard skills that our students needed to be able to use technology in an authentic way, we thought that any plan that we had to roll out had to also acknowledge how are we also being transparent and cultivating a mindset with students that will stick with them as they move throughout their educational careers. We're in elementary school. We're acknowledging that one of the biggest things we can equip for our students is that mindset of saying, I have a growth mindset about myself as a digital learner. And so in our plan, it's concurrently thinking about what are those hard skills, but what are the mindsets that we're hoping for them to hold on to. So initially, it's kind of taking what Mr. Fox did within his class of piloting that launching unit and rolling it out to our 3rd to 5th grade classrooms to make sure that they're getting experience with those skills. They're also having conversations about what are the habits of mind that make technology more useful to you and make you more independent in being able to guide your own learning. An event that we hold every year is the Professionals of Color Career Day, and we saw that as an initial opportunity to facilitate activities and conversations about how professionals are using technology in their careers. And in the same way, we're critical in thinking about the texts that we put in front of students to make sure that they see themselves in what they're reading, what they're writing about, that we're thinking of technology in the same way. Going into next school year, we're hoping to roll out a Unit 0 plan that also thinks about both those skills and mindsets that students are developing. And one of the resources that we've used is the ISTE standards that'll help us create basically a self-assessment with students that ask them questions about how do you see yourself as a digital learner? What do you do when you get stuck? And how can we continue to empower students in that process? Thinking about a year from now, our hope is to continue to roll out those units in integrating it with our existing interdisciplinary curriculum spirals with both the skills but also the mindsets. And at the same time, building the capacity of teachers to have the confidence to be able to teach their students those skills, have those conversations as well, with the long-term vision of thinking about our technology plan in the same tiers of supports and interventions to make sure that every student is set up for success as a learner and as a digital learner at Flynn. These are the ISTE standards that we think speak really well to kind of the unique angle we think we're approaching to teaching technology within our school and really monitoring that throughout a student's experience at our school to be able to say at the end of 5th grade as they leave our school, do they see themselves as empowered learners? Do they have an identity as a consumer of technology, as a creator, and as a designer too?
So in the short term, if we got everything we want, how do we know we've been successful with our kids? Our kids have more access to technology, right? So if they have an idea that they want to use the Chromebook for, they know that that's available to them. We want our students to have more practice. We want to give them the opportunity to try more things on a more regular basis. And most importantly, we want them to be confident. We want them to feel like the computer is not something that is a strange tool. It should be second nature for them. The Wordle up there where it shows you the phones, and I saw lots of people nodding. A lot of our kids, that's their only exposure right now to technology. And when they're faced with using a Chromebook, that's where you see the gap the widest. Because kids and families where they don't have a Chromebook, when they come to us, they're not able to navigate the computer the same way another student does, and it just sets them further back. We don't want that to be their barrier anymore. In the long term, another outcome we want is we want to be able to help our teachers, and we want to make sure that they have our instructional vision. We want to put a plan together to help them get started because our teachers are also going to need a lot of support. which brings us to what do we want? So I'm going to summarize it into 2 points. What we want is more calendar days and extended hours to help us to develop a program that our teachers can implement so our students can benefit from it. We need time to create something that other teachers can use and not have to develop on their own. We need time for our staff to explore and discover the best way to create authentic and engaging lessons. And we need more computers. If you want to give us one for everybody, that's awesome. We're going to start by asking for one additional cart so we're not trying to share one amidst 6 classes because it presents a real logistical challenge. Our kids are smart, they're funny, they're loving, they're deserving of every opportunity we can give them, and we hope that you help us make that happen. Thank you.